Hello and thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, a man who can make you laugh in French, English, Punjabi and Hindi.
What's up, Quebec City? Welcome to the Illegal English Edition.
Je vais aux États-Unis, je me moque des Américains. Je vais en Afrique, je me moque des Africains. Je vais au Moyen-Orient, non.
He's Canada's most successful stand-up comedian, selling out theatres with his bilingual performances. There are also TV shows, ads for Apple and 12 million hits on YouTube. From South Africa to Saudi Arabia to the Philippines and Ireland, he's performed in nearly 30 different countries. Now he's in France. His mission, to charm the French. Sugar Sammy, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Welcome to the show. Now, you've been selling out shows in Canada for around 4 years. Let's take a look now at a snippet of one of your bilingual shows filmed in Quebec.
You're from Mexico and you moved to Quebec? Your parents bought you? What the Is that legal here? Where? Marché Jean Talon? Donne-moi un chargeur iPhone, une manette de télé puis un petit bébé mexicain. Ouais, je veux un sac pour tout ça.
That shows you improvising, which you do a lot in your shows and with the audience. Now, you were the top grossing domestic touring artist in Canada a couple of years ago, ahead of Justin Bieber. We're very happy to have you in France, but what on earth are you doing here?
I just wanted a new challenge. I was done with Canada. My tour lasted 5 years. I said goodbye to Canada at a big farewell show. And I wanted a new challenge. I wanted to go somewhere where it was anonymous for me and where I was able to be inspired by, another society. And there's so much material here in France. I mean, there's so many political and racial tensions, and just the customs are different. So it spoke to me as soon as I visited a couple of years ago. I said, ooh, I could probably write a lot while I'm here because there's so much to write about. There's so many differences between, our customs in North America and here in France.
Give me some examples.
Oh, just in terms of the service, I think in North America, people are very service oriented. If you go somewhere, you'll be helped until you get what you need. It's always they always say customer comes first, right? Customer's always right. Customers always comes first. And here it's like people do the minimum. You walk into a place and they're happy to they showed up, they've punched in, they're happy to just be there. And if they can't find something for you, well, they're happy to say, ask someone else.
Yeah.
And so I get that a lot here. So there are a lot of these little differences that I talk about in the show.
Okay, well, the French might not be well known for laughing at themselves. We spoke to some members of your audience about why Parisians might be easy targets for jokes.
Les Parisiens ne disent pas souvent bonjour ou des choses comme ça, ils sont pas très aimables.
Tout le monde fait la gueule dans le métro.
Les Parisiens sont chiants, non mais vraiment. Ça pour le coup ils sont vraiment chiants, ils sont vraiment cons, faut garder vraiment ce principe.
C'est pas vrai qu'ils sentent pas bon, ils sentent très bon les Français. Ils se lavent.
I love it. It's so great.
Well, that was outside the European, which is in Paris, where you're performing until the end of April. In North America, I can imagine audiences love taking part. I can imagine that here it's quite a different story. I mean, talk to us about improvising with French audiences.
Well, I think stand-up comedy is a very new art form in France. It hasn't been here as long as it has been in North America, so people aren't used to that part of it, because improvising is also very new in terms of within the stand-up field. So people haven't been used to it for in France, and I think it's good. It shocks them a little bit, but once they get used to it and they see it's done in a friendly way, they start participating. It takes them a little while, and you have to jumpstart it sometimes when they're a little shy.
Well, you're very excellent at it. Bad service, French names, French films, they're all cliches that get a mention in your show. French-speaking Canada also has its fair share of cliches. We asked some of your audience what they think of in relation to Quebec.
Je connais rien du tout du Québec, mis à part leur accent qui est horrible. Et quand tu parles, faut arrêter les Québécois. Essayez de parler français normal, pas français québécois, ça n'existe pas.
J'aime bien quand on utilise, si je me trompe pas, garage au lieu de parking.
Tabernacle.
Ouais, tabernacle.
Ah, tabernacle. Les pitounes. Vous irez chercher ce que ça veut dire.
Le
I love
pitoun
it.
tabernacle. What's it all about?
Well, tabarnak is like our way of saying damn it, or like I wanted to say a swear word, but you can't on TV. So it's kind of like damn, but they say tabarnak. And les pitounes is women, you know, like hot women. Les
Chicks.
pitounes, les chicks. Hey, les pitounes.
Okay, well, back home in Quebec, you made fun a lot of the language laws, for example. You actually got a death threat
I did.
for one of your Franglish shows. You were called a francophone federalist bully and a traitor,
Yeah,
among some of the things.
and that's just my family.
Yet your show was a massive hit. It was a sellout, making you the most successful one-man show in Quebec history. Why was performing a bilingual show such a new phenomenon in a country where you speak both languages?
Well, I think it was, we have two solitudes when you look at Quebec. You have the Anglos and the Francophones, and up until very recently, those two worlds never collided, and I think that was one of the first times that happened. So it was successful because it was becoming the norm too. People were speaking in two languages, sometimes three languages in the same day. And I think that's, it's sort of like the reality that expats live here in Paris. They'll speak in French, but then, they'll have their friends who are from England or from the US, and they'll speak English to them. So we have that kind of reality, but on a daily basis and throughout the day. But nobody had addressed that publicly, because TV stations were either French or English, and radio stations were either French or English, and comedy and live stand-up was the only place where that could exist. And so it happened, and the audiences just loved it, and I was surprised, and I was very moved by the fact that people could identify with that show.
Wherever you are, though, you seem to be excellent at making fun of other cultures and races. It's not an easy thing to do. You've come to France at a very volatile time. Is there anything that's off limits?
For me, there isn't. I always let the audience decide. I mean, in terms of laughter, if it's funny, you'll know right away. That's one of the best things about comedy, is it's very democratic. You'll feel whether it's working or not as soon as you get up on stage. So I'll write without a filter. I'll be very honest, and I like doing that because I like bringing something new that someone hasn't brought. When people go, I was shocked by something, it's always because they've never heard it before. It's never been said publicly, But I like talking about the elephant in the room. I like talking about things that people talk about behind closed doors, but on stage. So when you do that, obviously some people might get, their feathers ruffled in the wrong way. But most people, I think it's very welcome for them, and it's very liberating to talk about things that are often neglected in terms of public conversations.
Well, here at France 24, we're a trilingual channel. We've got some of our staff to give us their best jokes for you.
How do you call Frenchman on holiday? Flip-flop.
C'est un couple de randonneurs qui se baladent dans la nature et le paysage est vraiment de toute beauté. Et à un moment donné, ils s'arrêtent devant une montagne qui est encore plus belle que le reste du paysage. Et du coup, la fille, elle dit « Waouh, ça me laisse vraiment sans voix ». Et le type, il répond « Oh, bah super, on n'a qu'à camper ici alors ».
What did the cheese say to the mirror? Hello, me.
Alors ça se passe à la piscine, un maître nageur en guirlande, un homme qui est en train de faire pipi dans la piscine, il lui demande d'arrêter, le monsieur lui répond « Mais je suis pas le seul à faire ça ». Le maître nageur répond « Bah du haut du plongeoir, oui ».
What do you call a Mexican with a rubber toe? Roberto.
Some of these people can probably open for me.
What's the secret to making people laugh? Is there one?
No, you just gotta practice, I guess. There's and you gotta be. I think with cultural comedy, which is one of my specialties, which I like doing. You have to be very precise. You have to be very, very specific. Meaning, it can't just be stereotypes or cliches or caricatures. It can't be something you've heard secondhand. You really have to experience it, and you really have to identify something specific for people to go, wow, he knows us. And that's the best compliment I can get after a show. And people come up to me here in France and they go, wow, it feels like you've really lived with us. And I have. It's been a year and a half that I've been here writing and observing and listening to everyone. And being able to write that honestly, you have to do that. You can't just say, okay, well, what have I heard? Well, let me kind of write something general about that. That'll never work. You have to be specific and you have to be honest.
Amongst your many accolades, you were voted by readers of Montreal Mirror as one of the top 10 most desirable men. I read that you got your name, Sugar Sammy, because you used to let the ladies into parties for free when you were an events organizer. Tell us about French women. How's it going with them?
Well, I have a girlfriend, so I haven't really tried. Tried anything on them. But
what's your experience of them, just in general?
I did have a French girlfriend once upon a time. Yeah, they're what's the adjective they use here? Chiante. they're
How would you what's that in English?
It's I don't know. They're very difficult. They're very confrontational. They like having fights for no reason. Like they like it's part of the excitement for I think French women to. It's a seductive thing. They like starting stuff. You know, they like starting disputes for no reason. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to add anything because everyone behind the scenes here are female and French. So anyway, we're going to play out with some music you've chosen, Sugar Sammy. Tell us what you've chosen and why.
Jamiroquai. I don't know which song you're going to play, but I love Jamiroquai, and Jamiroquai is making a comeback. He's coming back here to Paris in the fall. There are already tickets on sale, and that's it's my second favorite concert of all time that I've seen after Prince. And an incredible show, man. He has great banter with the crowd between songs. It's just a full show with a great orchestra around him, with a horn section. And for me, it's something I'm very excited about. And I think I'm going to see him here in France when he comes back in the fall.
Excellent. Sugar Sammy, thank you so much for being with us. And Sugar Sammy is at Paris's European Theatre until the 29th of April. Then he's on tour across the United States. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
I don't think of you much at all. Just one thing seemed to make you care. Who's gonna drive